Episode 585.
That initial stalemate was just an illusion. It might look like a cheap attrition style, but it's not. This is a containment flow. You seize the opening and deliver a single decisive blow. If you still don't get it, you know Huang Shaotian, right? He's the poster boy for the containment style. Oh, of course. Comparing this guy to Huang Shaotian is giving him way too much credit. Huang Shaotian's technique is far more sophisticated.
This player was a blade master. Even if he didn't like Huang Shaotian, he certainly wouldn't be unfamiliar with him. What aspiring blade master doesn't study Huang Shaotian? Hearing Lu Hao list off this particular legend, he immediately understood perfectly. A player of his caliber wasn't blind to things like playstyles or strategies. He just hadn't discovered them on his own. But with an expert's guidance, he had a template to follow. Looking at it now, he could actually see something.
Which launcher is up next?
Lu Hao asked. The other match was naturally the one against the sharpshooter. That player quickly stepped forward, scanned the list, and pointed out the recording file for that match. Lu Hao clicked it open, and everyone gathered around to watch in silence. Shen Yehui and the others continued to keep a casual eye on the trio's shifting expressions. They couldn't glean much from the match itself, but they could read plenty from the shifting expressions of the three pro players. This match ended even faster than the last one. Once it was over, the three pro players exchanged another look. This time, Lu Hao didn't speak. His gaze shifted to Wang Zi, as if waiting for him to say something. Wang Zi, being a sharpshooter himself, spoke up immediately after catching Lu Hao's cue.
Compared to the last match, the technique in this round seems a bit more refined.
Chen Yehui and the other two didn't dare interrupt, straining their ears to listen intently.
If the last match was about waiting for an opening, this one seems more about actively creating one.
Wang Zi said.
That also depends on the opponent.
Himing added from the side.
The last opponent was a blade master, focused on close combat. A launcher has the advantage of range. If you keep your distance and chip away, it's the blade master who's going to get impatient first. Waiting is a solid choice, but this round's opponent is a sharpshooter. While no class can match a launcher's range, the sharpshooter is only slightly inferior. A gap that small is incredibly difficult to exploit. So if you just wait, you're actively putting yourself in a passive position.
So this time, to seize the initiative, he adopted the strategy of creating his own opportunities. That was a very sound decision. Right.
After listening to their analysis, Lu Hao gave a nod and continued.
But the problem is, there's a clear gap in their strength. Do you really think he needs to be this meticulous, tailoring strategies for different classes?
It could just be a matter of personality, being cautious, or maybe it's just his approach.
As Himing spoke, Lu Hao didn't reply. He didn't pull up another match replay either. Instead, he opened a web browser and quickly searched for the original match between Chasing Haze and Riverside Willow.
For this match, Chasing Haze was being played by Yi Chu.
Chen Yehui said.
You did say that. But in fact, whether it was Ye Chu operating Chasing Haze, no one can be sure, right?
Yes.
Chen Yehui gave a nod. This match progressed even faster. After just a few exchanges, shore-pulling Willow was utterly annihilated. But after hearing Lu Hao's earlier explanation of the suppression playstyle, everyone watching now immediately recognized this match as a textbook example of it. It's just that in this match, opportunities kept presenting themselves. Chasing Haze didn't stall to wait for one, nor did she create one through containment. Instead, in the midst of a few exchanges, a sudden opening flashed into existence, and he seized it instantly.
How does the technique in this match compare to the other two?
Lu Hao asked.
It's more precise. Every single step has been pushed to the absolute limit of what's possible in terms of execution.
As for the launcher's technique in this match, those few pro players had actually discussed it long ago.
Yi Chu is no stranger to the launcher's containment style. Don't forget, Su Mucheng was trained by him personally. Su Mucheng's style is also a classic example of a containment play, but she leans more towards teamwork and coordination, and is rarely the one dominating the field. So when she's in a one-on-one, that aspect of her style isn't as pronounced.
Are you saying Yi Chu was the one playing in these matches?
No. What I mean is, this style of launcher represents the school of play that Yi Chu embodies. That means there must be another operator behind chasing Haze, besides Yi Chu. Have you forgotten that day?
The day Lu Hao was referring to, of course, was the one where the 3 pro players had swaggered into the heavenly domain for a hunt, only to get turned on and chased off by a 2-man team. The day they'd even suspected the launcher's operator was Su Mucheng.
Now, there are a lot of different players behind this Chasing Haze account.
Lu Hao said.
The real owner of this character, the one who's been in the Excellent Dynasty Guild all along, the one who participated in the All-Star event, is just an ordinary player.
Oh, this one. He's the boss of Happy, we found out.
One of the players quickly added. Chasing Haze was Chen Guo's account, which wasn't exactly hard information to come by. They didn't even have to go to Happy Internet Cafe. They heard about it from Ma Chenyi over in Hongtai.
The main player is a given. What we want to know is who the other booster is. Of course this match could have been Ye Chu.
Liu Hao said, pointing again at the video on the screen.
But the other roles might be different people.
Yeah, we saw that match too.
The challenger scout immediately said.
What kind of people were they?
The 2 of them were speechless. There was simply no way to describe them. They were just ordinary, utterly unremarkable people, with no distinctive looks or any special aura.
Let's look at something else first.
Lu Hao didn't think the question was all that crucial. He closed the web video and casually clicked open another match recording. This was a match between an assassin and a blade master, a brutal, bloody duel where every strike bit deep and every slash drew crimson. But just 10 seconds later, all 3 pro players had changed their minds, because after those 10 seconds, it was no longer a duel, it was a one-sided slaughter.
Is this the shameless playstyle?
He Ming's tone held a note of uncertainty, along with a touch of resentment. The shameless playstyle, of course, was well known to everyone present. It was a tactic mostly adopted by high stamina, high defense character builds. The logic is simple. I'm tough, I've got health to spare, so I'll trade one of my hits for 2 of yours. I'll just outlast you. For an elementalist like He Ming, whose life is as fragile as paper, the shameless style is obviously a terrible fit, and he absolutely despises it. The uncertainty in Hemming's voice stemmed from the fact that the character fighting so desperately on screen was an assassin. Assassins are also a class with low defense and health, making the shameless playstyle absolutely unsuitable for them.
How many matches have you guys played so far?
Lu Hao turned back to ask the 2 of them.
My second match. Well, no, my third, actually. The first one was against some random guy at the Internet Cafe. I recorded it, but it wasn't worth anything, so I didn't upload it.
The Blade Master player said.
I wouldn't call this match a display of shameless tactics. I just had a solid read on his strength, so I relied on my own to tank through it. A simple brute force way to secure the win. He's got another match?
Liu Hao had basically figured it out. The other side had 4 people, which meant these 2 guys had each played 1 match, for a total of 8. The sharpshooter player pointed out his match, and when everyone clicked to view it, it was truly a brutal display. The assassin completely ignored the sharpshooter's attacks, closing the distance while tanking the damage. He was utterly confident that once he got in close, he could defeat his opponent. He wasn't worried about the sharpshooter's melee ability, nor did he fear the other's capacity to escape.
It's hard to gauge this person's true strength. There's no opponent of equal caliber to serve as a reference point.
Lu Hao said, and then He Ming, beside him, added,
Let's just hope the other 2 don't fight the same way.